What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cool Fred's Garage. It's Cool Fred here. So Cool Fred's Garage is a video vlog series that highlights me working on cars. Some classic cars, some are modern cars and trucks. So today I'll be working on something much more modern than some of the classic stuff I've been working on. I'll be working on my 2016 Ram 1500. So the check engine light has been on for a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and fix that today. So I got it over there scanning now, so I can let you guys know what code is in there. But it's something I've known about for a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and fix it today. And I'm gonna show you guys the parts I'm gonna put in there and everything like that. So thank you guys for checking out the content. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, so here we go. The 2016 Ram 1500. I got my scanner hooked up to it. I'm using the this Autel MS906 BT. So it just got done scanning. I actually forgot what code was in here. I know what it's for, but I forgot the code description. But let's see what we got. I could have went to the report. That would have been faster, but it's just one code in a powertrain control module, and that's P0463. Fuel level sensor, 1 circuit high. And let me see, go to see what information we got here. So I guess lately it first detected this code at 130,000 miles. I got 133,000 on here right now. So I guess so far it's happened, I guess maybe like 5 times. But so the fuel level sensor, or the fuel level sending unit, they call it a fuel level sensor in here. So essentially what's happened, and I made a few like little quick videos describing the symptom and what happens when it acts up. So typically what happens, it may either say fuel level sensor fail, or it's gonna say or you may get the flashing gas tank. But basically what happened, the fuel gauge, it intermittently doesn't read when it's between, pretty much when it's close to a half a tank. And it's pretty consistent. That's why I kind of believe and know that the fuel level sensor is bad. And I did research this a little bit a few months ago. I want to say this has been going on for about 3 or 4 months. I just was too lazy to fix it at the time, but I need to go ahead and get this fixed, because in a couple months my birthday's coming up and I gotta pass emissions. But pretty much like I always say right before half a tank and a little bit after half a tank, not quite 3/4, that's when it'll act up. So I'm gonna attach the other video of when it acts up, what it does. But also pretty much every time you fill it up, like because the computer monitors, like it's basically monitoring that fuel level sensor, and I guess it's related to the check engine light coming on, because maybe they can't calculate the miles per gallon in the fuel or whatever. I guess something goes off, but for some reason it does throw a check engine light. So it normally works. Like, you know, I've never ran out of gas or anything like that, but it does, like, it's intermittent, it comes and goes. But it kind of sucks, because every time it gets around that threshold, which I kind of know where the threshold is, If you wanted to kind of trick it, if you had to get it to pass emissions, you probably could do it. You just have to keep the vehicle full between like maybe 3/4. Like I would say it would have to be more than half, like maybe right there. So between that and full, if you keep the vehicle full, then you could probably get by and pass the emissions. Because in order to do this job, you gotta the fuel level sensor comes a part of the fuel pump. You gotta drop the fuel tank. So that's what I'm having to do this Sunday morning, is drop this fuel tank out of here so I can get the fuel pump replaced. So what I'm about to do right now in a few seconds is I'm about to pull this wheel off and this inner fender lining and get in there to get access to the tank. And I also had to order some tools to be able to get this job done. So I'll let you guys know what that is in a minute. Alright, so to reduce the fuel pressure in the system, I believe I got the right fuel, the right fuse. It says fuse 70, which is right there, this 30 amp one. So I pulled that one. And I'm just going to start the engine over. I haven't started the truck yet this morning, but I know it says one of the things to do just to get the fuel pressure off of the fuel line. So there we go. So it's not starting, so that means the fuel pump is not activating. So that's what I wanted to do, just so when I disconnect the line coming off off the fuel pump, that it's not, you know, fuel is not spraying everywhere. And I'm also going to disconnect the battery. So I'm probably going to get the fuse and just put it right here in my cup holder, so it don't go missing. And I'm going to disconnect the negative battery cable. And I probably could leave this in the box here, but I'm just going to do it my way. Alright, so I got this bad boy jacked up. Got it supported good. Got a couple jack stands under the frame. Right there, right there. And so next up, about to get this inner fender lining out back here, so I can actually, because there's some hoses and stuff, like vent lines and stuff on top of the tank that you got to kind of disconnect before you just start pulling it down with the strap. So alright, so here we go right here. So pretty much what I wanted to say about this is I'm getting ready to drop the fuel tank, but I was just gonna say, instead of making this video like a how-to, I'm pretty much just making this video as an overview, to tell you what you do, what you got to do to fix your issue if you got this code. But right now I'm attempting to drop the fuel tank, and I'm just gonna say right now that it's a lot of ventilation lines on here and things like that. So I'm gonna I gotta get this right here loose, the fuel hose from the sending unit, but there's just a lot of delicate hoses and pipes that can snap off and break. So all of this stuff is extremely delicate. Even though it looks halfway decent, I don't really see anything, but it's kind of one of those things that, you know, this truck is, you know, maybe like 7.5 years old. You know, over time the plastic and stuff gets brittle and can break. So, and if you break something, you gotta go down to the dealership to get it. So it's like one of those things there. But the fuel pump, you can kind of, I got my light shining in there, but you can kind of see it. That's where the actual fuel pump is, through that hole there, that hole there. So I'm just gonna lower it down a little bit. I've already lowered the front side down. I'm gonna lower this strap right here, lower that down just a little bit, just to try to get more access into it. So I've already disconnected a few things in the back while under there. Looks like I didn't have to disconnect the fuel pump module, which is over there, but I thought it was a part of it, so I disconnected it. But it actually runs on top of one of the frames. But I'm gonna lower this other strap down enough, and hopefully I can get most of the stuff disconnected so I can drop it, because I can kind of see where things disconnect. So far I disconnected that little vent hose there. So I've disconnected that, and I've lowered this first strap, which is right there. So now I'm gonna lower the strap in the back, and then my plan is to pretty much lower it down a little bit so I can see and get all the stuff safely disconnected. And then from there, what I plan to do is I got another jack right here. So between that and these jack stands, I'm gonna lower it down on there. So that's the plan. All right, so just a quick little overview of what I've done so far. So I've lowered the fuel tank down, removed the straps completely. I got one laying over there, and my other one is over here. So I think this is one of those jobs, whether you do it if you got a lift or if you do it like this on the ground, it don't matter. So I think a lot of guys prefer to lift the bed off of the truck. To me, I think that's probably too much work for this, but it may make it a lot easier in some cases. But so I've disconnected most of the lines. This hose right here, disconnected that from the fuel filler neck and the vent hose for this dust filter over here. So what I've done just to make things a lot easier, because it's just real tricky to get up in here and stick your finger through there. I still haven't got the connector disconnected, but my plan is to just lower it down enough where I can disconnect it. But I got the vent hose disconnected. But what I've decided to do, let's see if I get my light. But what I've decided to do is I'm gonna pull this right here is the main fuel feed line that basically goes up to the engine. This is the fuel line from the tank. So what I've done, I've taken some needle nose pliers, I'll spray some WD-40 on these little clips here, like these little plastic retaining clips to hold this thing in. So I'm choosing this route, and I'm going to lower the tank down with this line. So there's one, but there's 3 of these. There's 1, 2, and 3. One further back here. So I was able to get these out, and that line is loose. I think that's more of a safer bet. So you don't break that line, because that's one of those things that you probably can't get. You got to go to the dealer to get it. You might can get it from Rock Auto, but still, if you break this line, trying to get that fuel pump off, that's something. Like this right here is a Sunday, so I would have to, if you break that, you gotta go to the dealer or go somewhere and order one. It's probably gonna take you, if they got it in stock, it's probably gonna be expensive, just because it's a fuel line and they probably know they break or whatever. But you know, you can be without your vehicle for maybe 2 or 3 days until you get that sorted out. But I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna quick disconnect it right here and drop the tank with the fuel line. And hopefully, I think it's a safety lock on the fuel pump. So my plan is now, since I got this loose enough, because basically it just goes up there to the top of the fuel pump through there. So since I got that loose enough, I'm just gonna lower the tank down just a little bit to access that connector on the fuel pump. I'm gonna disconnect that joker, and I should from there be able to drop the tank out and go ahead and replace the fuel pump. So that's the plan. Alright, so I did get the fuel pump connector disconnected. I'm trying to aim my camera in there so we can see it. But, so that's it right there. So that red safety lock, you have to pull that out. So I just took my pocket screwdriver and kind of just gently pulled it back, and I was able to press down on the locking mechanism in the center and pull it out. So that wasn't too bad. So I got my pocket screwdriver right there on my shirt there, so on my jacket rather, but it looks like that. So it was a little chilly this morning, so I had to get bundled up to come out here, but it is starting to, the sun is starting to come out a little bit, and it's warming up. So that's that Georgia weather for you. Starts off a little chilly, then it warms up. I think it was like 29 to 30 degrees this morning, and now it's probably starting to get in the low 40s. It's supposed to get up to like maybe 50 something today. But so now what I'm gonna do is, because actually I had to take my jack out of the center. I just got it supported on these jack stands. So what I'm gonna do right now is roll my jack back in here. And I'm just gonna gently lower it down on the jack stand. So the other thing I'm worried about a little bit, this could go through because it's flexible. There's a vent line right here that goes right here. So all this is gonna go through this hole and drop down with it. I may have to get this vent line off when it gets a little lower. But the reason I decided to move that fuel line kind of disconnected from the body of the truck, thankfully I didn't break any of the little clips on the retaining thing, because I sprayed some WD-40 in there to kind of make it, and I just gently popped it out. So this is what I used. I just used a combination of these to squeeze the little clips in, and then use this little plastic panel pry tool and just work it out. So I mean, this one of those jobs you just got to be gentle and take your time, because if you try to rush this job or do it as fast as you can, you're gonna break stuff. It's just too much delicate plastic hoses and lines in here, and I mean, that's just what's gonna happen. So I get everything disconnected supposedly. I don't see anything that's gonna cause me a surprise, so everything is disconnected, so I'm ready to lower it down. So I'm just gonna position my jack. I got less than a quarter of a tank of gas, and I tried to run it down as low as I could. So last time I filled it up, I put basically, just enough in there to get back and forth from work for a couple days. So I didn't fill it up any more than halfway. So I estimate that it's probably roughly about 5 or 6 gallons of fuel in there, but I can kind of move the tank up and down, so it's not real heavy. So I'll be able to kind of manage it. You definitely don't want to do this with a full tank of fuel in the car. So that's pretty much what I got. So I'm gonna go ahead and you can see how light it is, because you can kind of move it. Like basically I can wiggle it like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and just lower these jack stands down some more, and from there I'm just gonna watch this stuff right here as it feeds through. Make sure I don't break anything. I'm not worried about anything except this vent hose. I may have to eventually disconnect it, but there's a blue clip. My foot just hit that and got the jack stand down, but I'm gonna reposition it. But there's a blue clip like right here, and that's also the same style clip. It's got 2 clips. It's got this white one that you push up to release it, but then it's got another safety one, this blue one here. So I broke half of it. I still am able to reuse it, but the fuel pump has this same style clip. So this is the other half on it of it right here. So this is kind of familiar. It's similar to the ones that are on BMW vehicles. So that's what I primarily work on, is BMW. So I'm kind of familiar with a lot of this new and modern like fuel clips and stuff like that. So it's very similar to a design that they have actually, but I can still use the other half of this and put it in there and lock but the fuel pump has that very same style. So that's why I chose to disconnect it back over there versus up there, because it's just too much to get in there. But once I get it down and get ready to take the fuel pump out, I can try to be a little bit more gentle with it to get that out. And that same style clip is also right here on this vent hose. So it's just easier to disconnect it here than over there. But it's a little bit easier now that is lowered down, that the fuel tank is lowered down. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing out of here. All right, so pretty much just to risk breaking anything, that little connection that was right here, this vent hose here, I just went on and disconnected. So basically, this little blue clip here fits down in there. So it's like a groove. So basically it's a groove right here. Alright, so it's a groove right there. I'm trying to get my camera to focus in. So if you take your pocket screwdriver and just kind of place it in that groove, you'll be able to kind of pull this clip out with even pressure. And this came right out no problem. So so the fuel pump has this same style on it. So we'll see that in a second. Alright, so here we go. Fuel tank is down. And everything is safely out. So I got it on this creeper here. So my plan is, hopefully I got enough clearance over there. If not, I'll stick a piece of cardboard under there and slide it out. But hopefully it's enough clearance where I could just roll it out over here on that Harbor Freight creeper there. So that's the plan. So as you can see, as far as this fuel line right here, this fuel line here, the fuel supply line, that's where it goes right there. That's where I got it from here. Just undid it. Thankfully I didn't break these plastic on these clips. But if you did break the plastic on these clips, it's cheaper to probably replace these clips on the body than this fuel line here. So actually, this line is pretty flexible. It may not be that expensive, but I just don't know what it is. I just know if I were to break it, that I'm gonna have to go to the dealership to get it, or try to figure out where I can get one online, and it's gonna take a couple days to get it. Either way, 2-3 days, and your vehicle's gonna be down for a couple days if you break that. So so hopefully what I'm doing now is just trying to roll this guy off from up under here. If not, I get some, I gotta kind of be careful over here with these jack, because I had a little jack stand there, so I don't mess up that fuel line. Let me see. So it looks like it's not gonna clear. That's the fuel filler hose. Actually it will. I just gotta kind of just position it. Just be careful with it. Maybe I got that one here. So I may have to actually just get it off the creeper, because the clearance is just not enough. But it's got a handle on the back of the tank, so I will be able to get it. I was just gonna put it on the creeper just to make it a little bit easier to slide off from under here. It'll almost go, but so I'm just gonna drop it on the ground, grab some cardboard, slide it up under there, and slide it off from under here. And that way I can get the pump replaced. Alright, so I got the fuel tank off from under the truck. I just put it on this creeper here and just rolled it into the garage. So I'm gonna disconnect that fuel line right there off of there, because pretty much this is just this line right here was a little difficult to get out inside of the truck. All right, so to get this blue clip off, like you see there's a little groove right here, and you're just gonna just kind of pop that out like that, and you can get that out of there. So that's the proper way to get it out without breaking it. Another thing before I disconnect this fuel line right here, because to get it off you gotta press that. I'll get it off in a second, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my vacuum cleaner and just kind of vacuum up this little loose debris here so it doesn't fall inside the tank. And then I'm gonna get ready to get this lock ring off. But that's the main reason I kind of wanted to just roll it in here, just to kind of just have an area to work on it. I mean, you could very well do it out there beside the truck. It's no issue, but I just want to do it like that. So I'm gonna get my vacuum cleaner, just kind of vacuum up this loose debris and stuff like that, and then I'll come back and disconnect that line. All right, so once you got everything kind of cleaned up, you can take this right here, you just press this in, and then you can release this fuel line here. So you guys probably didn't see, but I kind of made this little zip tie just to kind of secure it around here, so when I take it out. But I'm just going to remove this line for right now, and I'm going to reattach it once I get the fuel tank under the truck. So I just kind of secured it there so it wouldn't be just dangling around. So I'm just gonna actually just take it and set it off to the side, out of the way. All right, so the next order of business is to get the lock ring off right there. So basically, I was planning on doing this job this weekend. So at my job, we have access to all data, right? So I get on all data, look up the instructions, just to make sure if I need anything that's out of the ordinary. But you do need a tool to get this lock ring off. And basically Friday evening, I'm trying to search and find like where can I get one of these tools. Northern Tool showed they had one. A few other places, like maybe Advanced Auto Parts, they had an OEM tools, but all of these you had to order them. You couldn't just go to the store and pick it up. So I had to turn to Amazon, and I did the 1 day, the option they give you 1 day. I was trying to find products to give you 1 day shipping so I can have it here yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday, today is Sunday, but it did arrive yesterday. But it was later in the day, like around 5 something. So today's Sunday morning, I decided to pull this fuel tank out and do this. So this right here is the OEM tool. This one's universal, but I don't think this one's gonna work. And then, so basically sometimes what I do, if I'm in a pinch, I'll go ahead and order a couple different tools, because you know at Amazon, you know, it's easy to return it. You can just get your return information, you know, offline, print it out, and you can take it to your local Kohl's. So that's probably the plan. Now the one that works, I probably am going to hold on to it, because this is one from it's basically one I got off of Amazon, and this one wasn't a whole lot. It looked like it was pretty nicely constructed, but this right here is the tool that you need. It does have a J number, but I don't know exactly what that is right now, but I guess I'll try to put it in the description. But basically, if you search for I guess a tool for 4th gen RAM, it's 4th generation, that's what I got. It's a 2016 model, but I'm sure all the depending on whether it's a V6, V8, it doesn't matter. Of course, mine has a Hemi, but it shouldn't matter. A lot of these fuel tanks are the same. So it fits right in there like that. And you can just get a tool. So hopefully my 1/2-inch drive will break it loose. Because I may get to the point where I gotta have somebody to help me hold it, but we'll see what happens. All right, so here we go. I got my 1/2-inch drive breaker bar. Let's see. Sometimes these things take quite a bit of force to break these off. Alright, so to get this off, using the breaker bar, it's going to take quite a bit of force, so I'm going to have to get somebody to help me hold this fuel tank to do it. So, I've done this before. I probably don't highly recommend it if you're not comfortable with it, but I'm gonna use this impact and kind of gently try to break it loose. You got to be extremely careful when you do that. I probably wouldn't recommend that unless you're comfortable with doing it, but it's a trick that I've seen some of my fellow technicians use every now and again on certain vehicles, and it will work. But you know, it's one of those things, because I'm not sure how expensive this fuel tank is, and I don't think I want to know. But there we go. So I got this joker loose. So basically this locking tool, it just goes in here in the groove, and it can go from left to right to lock in there to get this off. So this is the lock ring. I forgot to kind of mark it, because sometimes I do that, but I'm sure it's pretty much like universal. But what I'm gonna do now, as you can see, there's like a lot of little residue around there. I'm gonna try to see if I can vacuum that up some more, put this off to the side, and then I'll get that fuel pump out of there. So it's like it's spring loaded, because it kind of popped up when I took the lock ring off. All right, so I just vacuumed a little bit more of the debris out of the way. So I just try to wipe as much as I can out. That way it doesn't fall in the tank. All right, so another thing that I do sometimes, I mean, this one right here is pretty self-explanatory. It pretty much can only go one way, but just to make sure that you got it clocked the right way, it's not a bad idea to kind of mark it. To kind of put a mark on it. It just popped up by itself. I guess it's spring loaded. Let me see here. So I'm just gonna grab this pen and try to set it in this pen here, and I'm just gonna gently raise it up. And it's still got fuel around it. So now I just gotta try to, I guess, tilt it to get this level sensor out. So there we go. So that's it right there. I'm gonna put it over here on this bench. All right. So as you see, the fuel tank itself is not too bad to get out of the vehicle. You can tell everything. They kind of have it like it's one unit. I'm not sure if this charcoal canister, it probably is. It may be separate, but the way it attaches to it, I'm sure that is separate. But the charcoal canister and your emissions pump that pressurizes the tank for vapor leaks, it's like all on here and kind of integrated together. I'm sure this piece comes off separate if need be.
And I'm not exactly sure what this is. I'm not sure if this like helps transfer. It looks like it's part of the fuel ventilation system, I guess, or the purge system. But you got that small little line that connects there to the. It's got a sensor on it. So pretty much the main connections is this one right here. You got that one, and this right here is a vent hose that goes over here. That goes to the dust filter, and then this is your fuel. That's where the fuel goes in. That connects to the filler net. So it's really not that bad of a job to get this out. It's just making sure, because you do got to unlock your fuel. That connector I showed you guys earlier, just disconnect that from the fuel tank, and like how I did with this fuel line here, I got it sitting right here. I just kind of disconnected it from the vehicle, and this just disconnection and the fuel supply connection. Once you disconnect those, you're pretty much ready to drop it out. So it's only a few hoses, not really that bad. It's just you got to be careful with it, just to make sure that you don't damage anything. Because a lot of these hoses, especially a lot of these hoses, this plastic, like that's this style here, those are easy to break. And of course, you break that, you know what you got to do. You gotta go to the dealer. So this right here is the fuel pump. It's still got a lot of fuel down in there that I'm gonna dump out. But before I dump the fuel, because it's only a little bit, but I'm gonna end up pouring that back in the tank. And I'm just gonna clean up my little pan here before I actually dump it out. And then this right here is the new fuel pump right here that we're gonna put in there. All right, so I got this pan clean, and I'm just gonna kind of just dump this fuel out. And you can see that it's quite a bit of fuel in there. And so this right here is what like a modern style fuel pump looks like. I hope I don't think I did. I was just making sure I didn't dump any of the trash from up there inside this pan. But yeah, this is what a modern style fuel pump looks like. A lot of times they have a little fuel filter that's built in there. You got your fuel pressure regulator, whatever is regulated at, that's built in. So all that stuff is kind of like one unit. This is pretty much what you find in most modern vehicles today, cars and trucks. Something similar to this right here. And the reason why I'm replacing this fuel pump assembly is because of this, because of the code we got. This fuel level sensor, or some people refer to as a fuel level sending unit. And on this vehicle, really don't show that you can replace it separately. But even if you could replace it separately, since you got to drop the tank and go through all of this, it's better to just go ahead and replace it, because I don't want to have to do this job all over again just to replace the fuel pump. So I'm cool with replacing the fuel pump with everything, the whole thing. So that's better for future reliability, because I'm at 133,000 miles already. I did buy this truck new, and it's been pretty much reliable. This is the third time that the check engine light has been on for this stupid sensor right here. But so the first time it came on, it was I think it was a crankcase pressure. I think it's like a PVC, something that's on the intake manifold that got taken care of while I was under warranty at the dealership. And then here recently, I actually made a video on the second cause of why I had the check engine light on, which was the radiator grill shutter. So it's got those radiator grill blinds behind the grill. I think they call it active grill shutter or something. So I ended up replacing the actuator on that. Did that sometime last year. So, and that seems to be holding up pretty good. Haven't had any problems with it. I was able to find the actuator online and just replace just that part, because that whole grill assembly and all that stuff is pretty expensive as well. But this fuel pump I think it was maybe like a couple $100 or something like that. And I chose the Delphi. Got this from Rock Auto, so I'm actually gonna break it out of the package in a little bit and show you guys what that looks like, and then get it installed. All right, so here we go. So got a new Delphi Fuel Pump. I've had this probably for about maybe 2.5 months, just getting around to putting it in. So, and they kind of ship it like this. So this right here is a new seal. Just gonna replace that O-ring right there. So set that off to the side. And on here, I noticed that they don't attach the fuel level sending unit. Well, I meant they don't attach the float. I guess they do that because of shipping. I guess they do that because of having shipped. So I'm not sure if this is like an updated design. It looks maybe a little bit different from the other one. I guess that's like the fuel filter or the pressure regulator device that's in there. It just looks a bit different. But I'm gonna go and inspect my other one just to make sure that the connectors are the same, which I'm sure they are because I ordered this for a Hemi. So I just gotta attach this fuel level sending unit. So I think they do this because they do that because of shipping. They don't want it to get damaged. But I mean, it just goes in there like that. So I'm gonna stick that in there in a minute. So the way that it looks, this right here just goes in that hole there, and then you just clip it in. So I'm gonna do that here in a second. But I actually set the other fuel pump outside, that way it can kind of dry up a little bit. All right, so this is the differences right here between the one I got and the other one. And so pretty much everything is the same, the connectors and stuff like that. The fuel level sending unit is slightly different. It's in a similar orientation, but it is slightly different. So Delphi does make a lot of OE stuff. So for different manufacturers, that's one reason I chose Delphi. Let's see here. So I'm trying to look for the part number. I'm thinking that's the part number right there. 2853523. 2853-1. So those are the numbers on here. So I'll probably look it up on my Rock Auto information just to get the right number, and I'm gonna attach it to the description. So, but yeah, Delphi makes a lot of they make a lot of stuff for a lot of the modern vehicles. So it's a trusted brand. That's why I chose to get the Delphi unit. Looks like they put the springs in here on this model, because it does collapse up and down, but instead of having the springs like right here, they put them inside of there. So, but this one does look like a little bit different. I guess the integrated filter and the regulator and all that stuff is just kind of a little bit of a different setup from this one. So, and on this one right here, I kind of see why it's bad, and you guys probably see right there that on the, I think they call it the read card, this little area right here where it goes up and down, you can kind of see where it has a little bit of wear, like right in there. So you can kind of tell, like, if it gets to that area right there, that's probably where it's acting up at least logically. That's what I would think. So, because you can tell that there's some wear right there. So that's exactly what's wrong. It's worn in that area and every time it gets there, the fuel level sensor can't read. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach this and get this back down in the tank there. All right, there's a new O-ring. Sometimes I like to spray like a little bit of gas cleaner around it just to kind of help it. To kind of help the lock ring lock in place. So I got it one notch. I gotta get it one more notch. But it is a bad booger wooger. There it is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, to get that thing locked into, you got like 2 notches there. All I can say is it's a bad booger wooger to get it locked in. But it's in there. And I didn't break the tool. So that's a good thing. I can use this tool for another project if I ever do another Chrysler. All right, so just got this one in. Like as I mentioned before, I sprayed some W40 around there just to help give some lubrication to the lock ring. But basically, right here is one of the notches. So when it's basically got when it's off is all the way in this position, and when it's back on is all the way over here. So it just kind of slides like that. But you got this first notch that'll go to it first, and then when you get it all the way locked in to that second notch, when you hear it pop, that's when it's all the way seated in. So that's what's required to get it properly installed. So basically, I just had to get on top of the tank, kind of straddle it in between my legs here, and kind of, just get my breaker bar. If I had a longer breaker bar, it probably would have went in. I want to say this one like maybe 18 inches or maybe 24. I don't know. But if I had the longer breaker bar, I thought about getting. I do have a Craftsman breaker bar. That's not a ratchet, but it's just a breaker bar. I probably could have put a jack handle on there and got it. So I'm about to prepare to go ahead and get this thing back in the truck. So just want to thank you guys for checking out Cool Fred's Garage. Thank you for hanging out with me. I am gonna get some more content after I get it in there and back running. But I've been doing the of course I don't get a chance to film everything or make content on every single thing that I do. But if it's something that's kind of unique or something that I feel, that's helpful or cool to do, I'll get some footage on it. But so if you guys like the video, go ahead and give me a like, subscribe to the channel. So that right there motivate me to make more content. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this bad boy inside of the truck. Basically, I got it on my creeper here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it positioned in the center. So it's still got about six gallons of fuel in there. So I'm just gonna roll it back out to the truck. So I'm gonna slide it back on that cardboard, get it back under there, get it positioned, and start hooking the stuff up that needs to get hooked up. So these two lines here, they just gotta go in between this area here. And then once I get it under the truck, I'm gonna hook up the fuel supply line. I just didn't want it to be in the way, dangling, and possibly a possibility of me breaking it. So I just did it like that. And next time I fire up the camera, it's gonna be in the truck. All right, so here we go. Fuel tank back in the truck. Got everything connected, all the vent lines and all the connections. Actually, there's one more connection I gotta go up under there and connect that I just thought about. And that's the fuel pump control module, which is on the other side of the tank. You can, I think I showed it earlier through that hole. You can't really see it through there, but I got to get up under there and connect that. But everything else is connected like it's supposed to, all the lines and stuff like that. All right, so there's actually a couple things that I forgot to connect. So one of them is for the tank leakage pump. I'm not sure what RAM refers to that as, but on BMWs we call it a leak diagnosis pump. So that connects right there, and this up here, that connection right there, that's the fuel pump control module, or they call it a fuel pump driver module. And let's go plug this bad boy right here in. I just thought about that too, because I was just about to get ready to connect the battery. And the other connections that I already got connected that you got to worry about is this one here and this one right here. So this is the fuel line from the pump that sends fuel up to the engine through this line right here. So, and it's like this part of the tank ventilation system. That one is. All right, so got my trickle charger on here because when I scanned it earlier, the battery voltage was a little bit low. So this battery right here is probably about 2.5 years old. It's like, I think it's the Duralast Platinum. But so this trickle charger, within a couple of hours, it get the battery charged up. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the battery. Then I gotta put that fuse back in there. Then we'll be ready to fire this bad boy up. All right, so this that fuse that we gotta put back in here. So the fuel gauge is reading about, I guess, a quarter of a tank.
Recording, 2 channels started.
About to fire it on up, see what we got. So I just wanted to fire it up, make sure everything's working, make sure the fuel gauge is reading, make sure it's starting up and running, make sure I don't have any fuel leaks or anything like that. Just wanted to do that before I put everything back together. And pretty much everything's together. It's just I got to put the fuel, the fender liner trim in, which is over here. So got to put this in there. And once that's back in there, I'm gonna put the wheel on and I'm gonna be back in business. All right, so I'm back in the truck. Everything's back together. I got the truck down off the jack stands and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna clear the faults or the codes that's in the system, and then I'm gonna take this thing on a test drive in a little bit. All right, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and checking out Cool Fred's Garage. If anything was helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, you guys take it easy.